Warning, the following program is rated MA for mature audiences. Now, with that being said, our podcast is not for everybody. There's certain things that are going to be dropped and said that you're either going to like, disagree with, or maybe even hate us for. But that's okay because we're here to give people a fresher perspective, give them a new way of looking at things. This podcast is not going to be one of those sugar cookie cutters, make you feel good podcasts. It's going to be one of those podcasts that's going to give you direct truth, honesty, and in that honesty, there might be some moments where you might not like us. We're going to give you some hot sauce. And what I mean by that is we're going to share with you things, our experiences, and things that we've went through, and lessons we've learned to help you navigate and be better in the dating world. There's also going to be some truth moments. We're going to tell you guys some harsh realities as well. And we're also going to be dropping some gems. And what I mean is golden nuggets to help you have a better and more successful dating life. Plus, there's also going to be some spicy moments. That's why it's for more mature audiences only. But with all that being said, I also want you guys to understand this is a platform of peace and respect. Disrespect will not be tolerated here by anybody. Comments that put people down will be deleted and you will be removed from our groups or social media because this is an open platform for us to come and have different perspectives, for us to agree to disagree, not to put someone down for what they believe in. Because again, you're not going to believe in everything that we say. Some things you're going to be like, nah, I don't agree with that. And that's okay. We want you to disagree with us. But we also want to be able to give you fresher perspectives where you're like, you know what? That makes sense. This is how men and women think. This is how they navigate the dating world. Because the thing is, it's not about it being perfect. It's about getting results. It's about finding the people that you want to be with or finding your one person that you want to be with. And we're here to help you do that through our experiences, the books we've studied, the videos, applying that information to our lives and getting the results that we were looking for either with dating or relationships. So welcome to the podcast. We're really looking forward to having you guys and can't wait for you to be a part of our groups and our Patreon group. Let's go. Let's get it done. Hey guys, how's it going? It is Michael White. We are on our 4th episode today. So again, really happy to have you guys here. The next episode, which will be on Wednesday, which will be with me and Anthea together, you will see us together again, the dynamic duo, giving you guys some amazing wisdom and information. So I'm really looking forward to having my business partner back in my corner, and for us to give you some amazing stuff. Today's topic, it's a good one. It's going to be a doozy for so many reasons, because it's a lot of issues that I've had and issues that other people have had. And that is the issues of having boundaries and why we need them. So let's get into it. What is a boundary, right? A boundary is something that keeps a certain thing, let's say, away from you. So let's say you're building a house and you build a fence around your property. Why do you do that? It's because you want to keep wild animals. You want to keep maybe other people away from your property. So with that being said, is we need to have those boundaries when it comes to dating, relationships, and other people, because that's the thing, right? When you don't have boundaries, let's say we take the fence away, what happens is now anybody and anything can come and do harm to you, mentally, physically, whatever, right? Because you've never established what your boundaries are. And especially when it comes to love. And that's the dangerous part. Because it seems that when it comes to love, we don't have boundaries. Some people don't. Because you see, like, the dating and coaching industry is so big, right? It's vast. You got many dating coaches, relationships, and they're all teaching good stuff. I would never disparage or discredit any of the stuff that they're doing. But what I am saying is you can clearly see that a lot of people are having trouble in different areas, and boundaries are one of them. So, for example, let's say that you have this guy named Derek, right? And he likes a girl named Erin, right? And then what happens is let's say Derek never establishes what his boundaries are. Like, I'm okay with this, I'm not okay with that. Like, not off the rip, but like as they get to know each other, she knows what his do's and don'ts are. So in a lot of situations when people are not establishing those boundaries, what happens is Erin will do whatever she wants. She will go out with her friends, go out to nightclubs, like do all this crazy stuff. There's a lot of disrespect, because Derek hasn't established that he's not okay with certain things. And then because of that, that hinders their relationship. Derek secretly on the inside is getting mad, frustrated, all this other stuff, but he doesn't know how to speak to Erin, and that's where communication plays a role. But you see, that's why boundaries need to be set. Boundaries need to be had, because I will openly tell you guys, when I dated people, I never had any. Right? I thought it was very simple, very cookie cutter. I like you, you like me. We go out, we have a good time, and that's it. But never establishing, especially if you know it's going to that romantic area, never establishing saying, look, I like you, I'm interested, but, these are my boundaries. This is what I stand for. This is what I don't stand for. This is what I'm okay with. This is what I'm not okay with. And I feel that when it comes to dating, we need to be more selective with those things, because you can't just date every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Or, well, for a man's case, you can't just date every Sally, Jesse, and a Sarah. You have to be meticulous in your dating. And I feel like that's where a lot of people fall short, because they'll just date anyone. As long as they're attracted to them, they'll date anybody. Now, there's been some situations lately, like not lately, but in the past where I never established that, and then I ended up in these poisonous, toxic, unhealthy relationships because I could never stand my ground. I was always afraid, well, what if I lose her? What if she gets mad? What if she gets upset? And I always kept it to myself. But you see, there were certain things that I was not okay with, right? And you can't change that, right? So, for example, I'll give you a good one, and we'll probably cover it on one of the topics on our podcast. For me, a female's body count matters. Now, I know we're probably going to get a lot of haters. We're probably going to get a lot of people that are going to be like, damn. Or they're going to tell me, wait a damn minute, something's wrong here. But, for me, that matters. Like, how many men a woman has slept with. It matters to me. Because I this is just my opinion. Again, I'm not pushing this on anybody. I just personally feel that if a man's financial future matters, a woman's past should matter. Right? Like, if she's banking on you to be able to be the provider, supporter, protector, then you want to make sure that, like, the person you want to build a life with hasn't been with a lot of people. And unfortunately, like, I've walked away from some women that have had really high body counts, right? But again, back in the day, it was a standard I never enforced. Oh, as long as I like her, she's fantastic, she likes me. That's all that mattered to me. But now, where I'm at now, I'm able to enforce that boundary, that standard, I guess you can say. And it's the same thing with another standard I have. But touching on another point, you see, having that standard has protected me from dating a lot of the wrong women. And that's what I'm trying to say is when you have those standards and those boundaries, we'll call them standards slash boundaries, it protects you from dating the wrong people. That's why they're so important, because again, you see a lot of people will date people and they'll look at their dating catalog, like from their past, we'll call it a dating catalog, and they'll look at it and say, man, you know, I dated so many bad people, I chose the wrong guy. But it's because, number one, you didn't have boundaries and you didn't vet them properly. You know what I mean? Because if you had boundaries, you probably would have never dated them in the beginning. You would have been like, look, man, you got anger issues, or you have codependency issues, or like you have like whatever type of issues the person has. You'll be like, yo, I can't deal with that. But a lot of times we get so caught up in how they make us feel instead of looking at reality is this person might not be good for you. They might check all your boxes, but again, there could be that one thing that doesn't work, right? So for me, for example, another boundary for me is I don't want to date a girl that has guy friends. Like, again, and we established this on the podcast, like in our previous episodes, like if the guy's married, cool, it's not a big deal, but I don't want to have to deal with while I'm out grinding, working, you know, getting my stuff ready for life, preparing this kingdom for both of us to enjoy while she's out with other guys. Like, and it's interesting too, because if a girl this is for a girl or a guy, if that person really likes you, like, I mean, like, likes you, like this, I almost talk like from a woman's point of view. If this really likes you and like she's like submitted to you, those type of requests won't be a big deal. She'll be like, you know what, like I want you, I want to build a kingdom with you. I don't want to entertain other men or even open other doors, because that's the thing, right? It's a door. It, especially if that male friend is single, it's a door. And when you open a door, you sometimes never know what's on the other side. Like he's like, hey, I've liked you for a long time, or whatever. Again, it's just one of those complicated scenarios, that a door that you don't want to open, right? So with me having that standard, has it limited my dating pool? Yes, because now some women are like, well, I'm not dealing with that. Like, screw that. Like, I don't want, that's controlling. It's misogynistic. It's this, it's that. That's cool. That's how you feel. Again, I respect it. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to change my standard to accommodate you. Right? Does it limit my dating pool? Yeah. But you know what? It allows me to have the best of the best. Right? And exactly that's what I'm looking for. The best of the best. Because think about it. When you're choosing to date somebody, it's a decision that shouldn't be made lightly. It's a decision that should be thought through, meticulous, and chosen properly, right? Not just, oh, I'll just date you because you make me feel good. You know what I mean? Because again, there's going to be days when that person doesn't make you feel good. And then you have to assess if it's something you still want to continue. And that's why I said, when you have those standards, like, not, they can't be like crazy ones, but I'm saying when you have like a standard set of what it is you want, it weeds out the good and bad people to date. So for example, like, let's say a man wants someone that's fit, feminine, friendly, agreeable, peaceful, and cooperative, right? Let's say that's that man's standard. He needs a woman within that realm. So when he goes out on dates, he's gonna make sure he sticks to that standard, right? So if the girl doesn't meet any of those requirements, he's not continuing the date any further, right? Because again, it would be inconducive to his dating lifestyle, because he's not getting what he wants, right? He's not gonna break his rule, let's say, or his boundary, let's say, when he wants a woman that's agreeable and she's combative, right? It doesn't work. It's the same thing with a woman, right? She's looking for a masculine, healthy, adventurous, fun-loving guy, that challenges her, pushes her, knows how to put her in her place in a proper way. Now, again, some women are like, that's a mean word. Let's be honest here. A lot of times, as the man's job, you want your woman to respect you, right? So when I mean put her in her place, is sometimes, when she's acting a fool, you're able to kind of like, yo, that doesn't fly here. Like, that is not okay with me. She'll respect you a lot more because you said something and you stood your ground instead of just letting her run wild and do whatever, right? Then she'll lose respect for you. And we could see it actually, like, I'm not sitting here talking out of my bottom, but you'll see a lot of relationships, why they're ending or why certain things happen. It's because the girl doesn't respect the guy. And some girls will flat out come out and say, well, I lost respect for him. But why? Because maybe he was never able to stand his ground. So let's say for a woman, women are looking for security, a good time, not in the bedroom, but, well, again, that's another topic for another time. They're looking for a guy that's fit, a guy that brings security, a guy that's masculine, a guy that's able to put them in their place, a guy that's able to challenge them, and someone that they can grow with and is long term going to be able to give them some form of financial security. So, with all that being said, let's say a girl has these standards. Why are you breaking your standards to date these guys that you're dating? Like, I talk to a lot of girls, or women, I should say, and like, I see them saying, I want a nice guy. This guy's toxic as hell. Like, he's bad. He treats them poor. He's just sleeping with them for fun. No commitment. That's another thing that women want, is commitment. Sleeping with them for fun. Not taking them seriously. And I'm like, you say you want a nice guy, but you're pursuing this guy. What you're saying and what you're doing are two different things. Like, they're not conducive to your growth and health. Because I said women are very emotional creatures. We know this, right? But just because you're an emotional creature doesn't mean it needs to run your life. Doesn't mean that you can't have standards and boundaries, right? Like, because in a lot of situations, I'll see women say, well, he treats me bad, but you keep going back. Who's to blame in that situation? Not the guy, the girl. You keep going there. He can only do that to you if you allow it. But you keep breaking your boundary because you keep saying, he makes me feel. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that's getting you in trouble, right? And that's a whole nother topic. Um, if you had those boundaries, regardless of how he made you feel, you would be like, it goes against my principles. It goes against what I stand for. So no matter how you make me feel, this is over. This is done. So that's what I'm saying. That's why boundaries are so important, because they establish of what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate. And what I have is a book here, like a notebook, and I have two columns: what I'm willing to tolerate and what I'm not willing to tolerate. And number one on that list is respect. And that's the thing, right? You got to come in there, either like guy or girl, with like that being your number one thing, like respect, right? Like, because at the same time, you have to command it. Like, you have to be able to um, call out, discuss, talk about anything to gain that respect, right? Because that's the thing. If you're in your frame, let's call it masculine, feminine frame. I know people don't like that term. They're like, well, that's mean, but that's a different topic. Is when you start to lose that masculine frame, and masculine frame is, we'll define what masculine frame is. Masculine frame is knowing who you are, what you stand for, and walking in your true purpose. That is like the legit form of a masculine frame. You know what? Let's Google it, actually, because I don't want to just give you guys stuff, right? Um, okay, hang on a sec. Okay, the definition of masculine frame is essentially the mindset. Always, this counts all the time. A man needs to have in order to cultivate his inner spirit and confidence. The frame you hold as a man determines a great degree of how you live your life. And we'll add another part onto there. Masculine energy is strong, stable, self confidence. Masculine energy likes to make decisions fast. It's decisive, not indecisive. It knows what it wants and goes after getting it. Masculine energy loves direction and purpose. You see what I mean? So that's what women are really drawn to. So you see what I mean? Like that, you see how respect goes in there, because in that frame, it's no nonsense, no BS. Like he knows where he's going, he knows what he wants, he has a direction, he has a purpose, he knows how to make decisions fast and quick and get them done. And he's very confident. Now, again, if you don't have those things in a lot of situations, females won't respect you. He's indecisive. He doesn't know how to make up his mind. He has no standards or boundaries. So again, with that lack of respect comes those bad things. Hang on a sec here. We're gonna read one more, and then hang on a sec. I want to give you guys a good definition of feminine energy. Hang on. Because again, like you hear those terminologies a lot, right? Feminine, masculine energy. Ah, okay, I found a good definition. Okay, so feminine energy, free flowing, full of life. She's like the ocean, right? Stimulated by praise. Feminine energy is moved by love, emotion, and intimate relationships. About existing in the body, its sensation and feelings. Makes small things big. Hangs on to everything. Feminine energy is about flow. There's no such thing as interpretation and looks for love, right? So like that's feminine energy, right? Like she's just so passionate, feminine. She's like the ocean. She just flows naturally, right? So the reason why I gave those two definitions is because let's say your standard or your boundary is you want a feminine woman. You don't want a woman with very masculine traits. Now, again, I'm going to correct this because everybody has both. But let's say you don't want a woman that has excessive masculine traits, where she's very combative, very argumentative, not very submissive, those type of things. So again, like in that situation, your masculine energy needs to dominate hers. And then when dominate hers, then she's gonna want to submit and be more feminine. And again, I'm not here talking out of my bottom, but you hear a lot of women say it. It's not me just saying making this stuff up. There's women openly coming out saying I'm a very masculine woman, so I need a guy that's more masculine than me, and then it makes me want to switch over to the feminine, right? And that's the thing. You'll even hear a guy say, yo, that woman's way too masculine because she's too combative, argumentative, not peaceful, not agreeable. And I think everyone's entitled to that. So if that's a standard or a boundary for you, like you're like, hey man, like I don't want too much of your masculine energy. You need to slow it down. You're allowed to ask for that, because it's the same thing with a woman. Let's say her boundary or her standard is she doesn't want to date a feminine guy. She's like, you're way more feminine than I am. Then I have to put on my masculine frame and you're going to be feminine, and then eventually she'll lose respect for you. So with all that being said, is the reason why that's a boundary, or let's say it's a boundary, is because I've had a lot of women come to me and say, Michael, I was the masculine person in the relationship. I was the motivator, I was the innovator, I was the inspirer, I was all these things. And she didn't want to be. She wanted to relax in her feminine. But because the guy didn't know how to do that, it became very bad. So that's why I'm saying that if that's a standard for you or a boundary for you, you need to let them know off rip. Right? Like, not right away on the first date, but like if you have established that there's a connection, there's something worth pursuing, then you need to be able to establish, like, not just coming in, this is what I need, but more of like, this is what is going to help our relationship move smoother for us to work together and build as a unit. Right? Are those certain traits? You know what I mean? Looking at those certain things, because again, you also don't want to waste your time, right? So like, let's say, for example, that like a person, you have a boundary of like, and I'll use this one because it's easy, is you don't want a girl that slept with a lot of guys, right? You meet her, you find out it's not worth pursuing. Some guys will. Now, I'm not judging everybody, and I'm just looking at it as majority of guys won't. Right? Majority will not. They'll be like, well, you've been with a lot of guys. Like, they'll entertain you with bedroom fun, but the lack of commitment will be there. And it's the same thing for a woman, right? Like, she has certain standards, right? She might not date a guy that's 5'2". She might not date a broke guy. She'll entertain them, but she won't take them seriously. So that's what I'm saying, that everybody has their things, but we need to start enforcing them, because that's where the lackluster thing comes in, especially when it comes to respect, right? If you have a boundary of don't disrespect me, but then you're entertaining them continuously while they're disrespecting you, then clearly you don't love yourself. Clearly you have a lack of standards and boundaries, because you're entertaining somebody that you know is not good. It's like saying, I don't have a boundary. So let's say you have a house, you take the fence off, right? And a wolf comes and a wolf bites you. And you say, oh, the wolf bit me, because you decided to take the fence down. You decide, I don't need a fence. And a wolf comes and bites you. And then you run around to everybody, friends, family, who, oh, a wolf bit me. Well, why did you take the fence down? Oh, I just didn't feel like having it up. Well, it's like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, we have to use a little bit of common sense here. You know what I mean? If you're looking to settle down, you're looking for a certain man, or you're looking for a certain woman, set those standards. Set the standards of, this is what I'm about, this is what I'm not about. Are you about the same thing? And then you're able to discern if this person is good for you or not. It's very simple and easy, but that's the thing. Sometimes when we like somebody, we get so caught up in the liking that we don't look at the principle of if that person's a good fit for us or not. We get so caught up in them being beautiful, good looking, them making you feel good, instead of being like, whoa, like, this person might not be as good for me as I think. Now look, I've made mistakes like that too. I've met some females in the past that I've dated, fantastic human beings, but they weren't for me. But you see, because I was so caught up in their looks, attitude, mindset, everything, but there were some things that I clearly ignored that were inconducive, and that ended up hurting me, because I ended up finding out, wow, this person's really not for me. And then I get into the relationship with them, and then now I don't know how to get out. Now I'm stuck. So that's why I'm saying that, you know what I mean? When it comes to that, you have to be really aware of what it is you want and what it is you need, and let the person know right off from the rip. So that's today's topic, but we're not done. Look, guys, we're going to come at you with some amazing stuff. me and my team and my business partner are working really hard to establish all of our social media. So you'll be able to follow us on Instagram at Love and Relationship Podcast, Twitter as well. Very soon you'll be able to follow us on Patreon. You're actually going to get some more spicier content from us on Patreon. We're actually going to try to incorporate weekly Zoom calls, possibly on a Sunday. Weekly Zoom calls that are going to be like pre-recorded or live if people miss them. One-on-one coaching on Patreon. This will all be Patreon stuff. And we're also going to work on some PDF and maybe possibly some courses as well. So the one-on-one coaching is going to be big, Zoom calls, a bunch of things, and more spicier content. Because again, we want to give you guys the best. That's why we're working on getting the best audio equipment. Like as time goes on, like I have good audio equipment. You know what I mean? We're going to be pouring into this to make sure that you get the best experience with us, that you can fully experience us either on your home, your cell phone, wherever it is you're at. You know, we want to give you guys the best graphics, best videos. We want to give it to you all because you guys have been such loyal, loving, understanding fans that we're going to push ourselves to the limit. You know, I'm sitting here educating myself, learning, because for me, self-education is the best education. That's why I invest into dating, relationship books. I get all perspectives. I learn a lot about masculine energy, masculine frame, how to attract the right woman, how to date the right woman, how to be everything that she wants you to be, not because of her, but for yourself. And a lot of those things. And, you know, learning a different attachment styles. The book I showed you guys last week, Insecure in Love, because a lot of people haven't dealt with their baggage. So we're going to cover like a lot of stuff, right? Because on this podcast, we don't want to give you guys fluffy truths. Because you can go get that anywhere, right? And we want to give you guys facts, right? Because a lot of times people will tell you things that are inconducive and they don't help you. So when you look at it, like they'll tell you, for example, saying like just anything, right? And it's not truth, because sometimes it's those hard truths that help you change. So like when you tell a woman like men and women can't be friends, oh, why not, blah blah blah, and then you help them understand why, then they have that broader perspective to say, you know what, it's inconducive to where it is I want to go. So you know, we're sticking to our schedule. Next week we want to give you guys a great episode because it's our 5th episode, 5 episodes straight. And obviously, you know, you've got a bunch of them with me. But the cool thing is with my business partner is you're gonna get me and her together, and you're actually gonna get individual episodes like this with her, with just her. So she's gonna give her take on a lot of things when it comes to love, relationships, dating, you know, attachment styles, you know, feminine energy, masculine, from her point of view. You got mine, you're gonna get hers. And you know, what's going to be amazing about it is, you know, we're pretty much what we're trying to do is help you guys achieve your relationship goals, right? We all have them, right? We have our individual goals in our single life, and then we have our dating goals, which are like, okay, how do I get to XYZ? This is what I want to achieve. This is how I want to date healthily. So just be on the lookout for it all, and we'll catch up real soon, guys. Take care and have an awesome Friday. Really looking forward to spending more time with you guys. You guys have been a great audience. You guys have been loving, supportive, and we'll speak real soon.